Alright folks, grab your popcorn because the College Football National Championship just gave us a thriller of a game. Ohio State versus Notre Dame. And guess what? We've got a 2-loss national champion. Which is a story you definitely don't hear every day. The Buckeyes pulled off a 34-23 victory. But let me tell you, it was far from smooth sailing. Stick around, because this one had the perfect blend of drama, high stakes, and a coach whose job was on the line. And oh, don't worry, I'm gonna break it all down. And I promise, there are some twists that'll make your jaw drop. Let's go. Alright, so let's set the stage for you. Ohio State came into this game with a big reputation to live up to. It had been 10 years since their last national title. And with their 2 losses this season, they were facing not just Notre Dame, but some serious expectations. But early on, this game looked like Ohio State was going to run away with it. Notre Dame opened the game with a bang, scoring on their very first drive. Riley Leonard, the Fighting Irish quarterback, was basically Superman for the first couple of minutes, marching them down the field for a 75-yard touchdown. However, after that, it was pretty much all Ohio State for the next few quarters. And you know what they say, never count your chickens before they hatch. But for the first 40 minutes, the Buckeyes were absolutely cooking. Let me tell you about this backfield magic. Ohio State running back Quinshon Judkins. He was on fire. A transfer from Ole Miss. He scored 3 touchdowns in this game, showing everyone why Ohio State brought him in. And don't even get me started on quarterback Will Howard. He was throwing absolute dimes, completing his first 13 passes. I mean, at that point, the Irish defense was looking like it was out of gas. Ohio State was up big at one point, 31-7, in the third quarter. But, oh boy, did Notre Dame decide to make this one interesting. After a series of Ohio State scores, the Irish dug deep. They managed to score 16 points in a row. And just like that, the Buckeye lead went from huge to, Riley Leonard connected with Jaden Greathouse for a 30-yard touchdown. And boom, Notre Dame was suddenly within 8 points with just over 4 minutes left in the game. I mean, at that point, I'm thinking, is this gonna be a wild upset? But, just like a plot twist in your favorite Netflix series, Ohio State stepped up big. Will Howard, cool as a cucumber, connected with freshman star Jeremiah Smith for a huge gain. Smith just burned the Irish secondary like it was nothing. That, my friends, iced the game. And Ohio State did what they do best, close it out in style. Now, before we dive deeper into the drama of Notre Dame's comeback attempt, let's talk about how dominant Ohio State really was, especially in the first half. Judkins was like a freight train, rumbling through Notre Dame's defense. He had a 100-yard game, which, by the way, was his first 100-yard performance since week 3. Not to mention that beautiful 6-yard touchdown catch before halftime to make it 28-7. Just a moment of complete domination. Ohio State knew how to break an opponent's back at the most painful moments. But here's where Notre Dame's hopes started to unravel. After they cut Ohio State's lead to 16, things started to look up, right? Well, not so fast. A questionable decision by Notre Dame coach Marcus Freeman to settle for a field goal instead of going for the touchdown on 4th and goal was a turning point. Tension builds with background music. Here's the deal. Notre Dame's offense wasn't exactly lighting it up. They needed a miracle, but instead of going for it on 4th and 9, Coach Freeman decided to send out the kicker to cut the lead to 13 points. But the field goal? It hit the left upright, ouch. That right there was the turning point. And if you think that wasn't bad enough, Notre Dame's offense, after getting that lucky break earlier, couldn't convert the next time down the field. It was just one of those moments where it felt like Notre Dame's chance was slipping away. Ohio State's road to redemption and their postseason dominance. Upbeat music resumes. Okay, so let's shift gears and talk about the big picture. Ohio State needed this championship. After losing to Michigan yet again, the Buckeyes entered the 2024 season with one goal in mind: redemption. Coach Ryan Day, who had been under a lot of pressure, made some big moves to retool the team. They added talent through the transfer portal. And bam, Quinshon Judkins was a game changer. They also brought in a familiar face to help with the offense. Chip Kelly, former Oregon and Eagles coach, was hired as the new offensive coordinator. Kelly's offensive schemes really worked wonders in the postseason. But let's not forget, this wasn't all smooth sailing. The regular season was full of bumps, including another loss to Michigan and a heartbreaking end to their regular season. But somehow, when the playoffs rolled around, Ohio State flipped the switch. They dominated Tennessee, revenge-gamed Oregon, and took down Texas in the semifinals. It was looking like they were on a mission, and they certainly proved it. Final thoughts and conclusion: upbeat, triumphant music. And so, here we are, the Ohio State Buckeyes are your 2024 national champions, defeating Notre Dame 34-23. What a season it's been for them, filled with ups and downs. But in the end, they're on top of the world. Will they reign supreme next season? Only time will tell. But for now, Ohio State and Coach Ryan Day can enjoy this one. And Buckeye fans, you got 10 more years to talk about this one. Because finally, your team is back on top. Congrats to them and well done. Call to action. And hey, before you go, don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new, and drop a comment below with your thoughts on the game. Did you think Notre Dame had a chance? Or was Ohio State always destined to win? Let's chat in the comments. Catch you in the next one. Folks, peace out. End with outro music and a final screen showing, subscribe for more sports updates. 51 days. That's how long it's been since Ryan Day stood frozen in Ohio Stadium, staring at Michigan players planting their flag on his home turf. And if you were following Ohio State football back then, you know the feeling: frustration, heartbreak, and a lot of angry calls for his job. But fast forward to today, and wow, things look a whole lot different. This time, it's Ohio State hoisting the national championship trophy after a 34-23 victory over Notre Dame. And let me tell you, the story of this comeback is one for the ages. Ryan Day, the guy everyone was questioning, just led the Buckeyes to the ultimate redemption. So how did they do it? Buckle up, because we're diving into the highs, the lows, and the unexpected rise of Ohio State. Let's go. Just over 7 weeks ago, everything was in chaos. Ohio State had just lost to Michigan for the umpteenth time, and Ryan Day was under fire. The criticism was loud, not just about his play calling but about his ability to get the team over the hump. That loss? It felt like the end of the world for Buckeye fans. Players were fighting, the stadium was filled with tension, and for a while, it seemed like it could cost Day his job. And then, national champions. Fast forward to Monday night, and this time, it's Ohio State leaving the field victorious. Flags flying, and fans chanting Day's name. What change? Simple: everything. Ohio State had a second chance thanks to the expanded playoff system, and they were determined to make the most of it. Let's give credit where credit's due. Ryan Day went from being the most criticized guy in Columbus to the one with a national title on his finger. We all know the pressure that comes with coaching a powerhouse like Ohio State. But what sets Day apart is his ability to turn it around. After that Michigan loss, the Buckeyes could have folded. Instead, Day owned his mistakes and got his team back on track. And let's be real, folks, the game he coached in this championship was night and day from his performance in that Michigan loss. The story wasn't just about play calling. Day didn't let the past dictate the present. He focused on what Ohio State did best and let his players shine. And boy, did they shine. Let's talk about this national championship game for a second. The Buckeyes weren't exactly perfect, but they were damn good. Notre Dame struck first with a long 18-play, 75-yard opening drive that had Buckeye fans holding their breath. But Ohio State? They didn't flinch. Right away, they answered back with a solid 11-play drive that ended in a touchdown. From that point, it was Ohio State showing exactly why they're one of the most talented teams in the country. You want a highlight reel? We've got one. First, there's Will Howard, who was flawless throwing to his playmakers like Jeremiah Smith and Emeka Egbuka, both of whom are absolute stars in the making. And let's not forget the running back duo of Quinshon Judkins and Tre'Veon Henderson, who were punishing defenders all game long. The offensive line gave Howard all the time he needed, and that meant a very dangerous passing game. The Buckeyes made it look easy, and when they were up 31-7, it honestly seemed like Notre Dame had no answer. But the Irish didn't go down without a fight. Credit to Notre Dame, they weren't about to just roll over. The Irish came out firing in the second half, scoring 16 straight points, cutting the lead to just 8 with just over 4 minutes left in the game. Suddenly, the Buckeyes were sweating bullets. Could they hold on? Would the ghosts of Michigan's comeback haunt them again? But this time, the Buckeyes weren't having any of it. After a quick catch and run by freshman Jeremiah Smith to seal the game, Ohio State breathed easy and ensured that they wouldn't let this one slip through their fingers. It was a gut-check moment, and Ohio State passed with flying colors. Here's where the real story is. Though, this wasn't just about one game. It wasn't just about one comeback. It's about what Ohio State has built over the last few years, a championship culture. From the days of Urban Meyer to Ryan Day's leadership, it's clear that Ohio State has one of the strongest programs in college football. Day's ability to bounce back from criticism and rise above the noise says a lot about the kind of leader he is. He's not just a great coach, he's built a culture of resilience, where the players buy in and fight for each other. That culture? It's what convinced guys like Henderson, Egbuka, and Smith to return for another year and chase that national title. It's why Ohio State has been able to attract some of the best talent in the country through NIL, but also why those players trust Day to get them to the top. And let's not forget the role that NIL played in this victory. A reported $20 million in NIL money helped Ohio State keep key players on the roster, ensuring they didn't lose talent to the NFL early. But here's the thing. That's not just about money. It's about building a team, a family, and a belief that together, you can win a national championship. With such a loaded roster, Ohio State wasn't just talented, they were deep. From veteran leadership to young stars, every piece of the puzzle was in place. When Howard stepped up to throw the game-winning pass to Smith, it was a symbol of everything coming together. Ohio State wasn't just a team of great players. They were a well-oiled machine. And that machine was unstoppable on the national stage. So, what does this all mean for Ryan Day? Well, let's just say that his critics have been silenced, at least for now. He's 70-10 as a head coach. And now he's got a national championship ring to back up his record. The calls for his job after that Michigan loss? Gone. The narrative? Completely changed. Day's journey wasn't easy. It never is when you're coaching at a powerhouse program like Ohio State. But this victory? It was vindication. A chance to prove that he is the right man for the job and that this team, his team, can win it all. In the end, Ryan Day and Ohio State are national champions. And they earned every single bit of it. After the heartbreaking loss to Michigan, they didn't give up. They didn't fold. They came back stronger, more focused, and more determined than ever before. This championship isn't just for Ryan Day. It's for every player, every coach, and every fan who believed in Ohio State when the odds were stacked against them. From heartbreak to glory, this story is one for the ages. And hey, if you're enjoying this championship journey, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more updates, and let me know in the comments, what was your favorite moment from Ohio State's road to the title? I'll catch you in the next one. Folks, go Buckeyes!